What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm on Toxin Gaming. Today we are going to be going over another deck discussion. Today is Adrian Gecko's deck discussion and deck prediction. So if you all enjoy this type of content, make sure you leave a like and a comment in the comment section down below. And if you love Speed Duel comment as much as I do, you should subscribe to the channel. But without further ado, we're going to jump right into this. Adrian Gecko, he plays a really unique deck called the Cloudian archetype. They're really cool cards. They're based around not being able to be destroyed by battle, and when they're switched to defense position, they destroy some specific Cloudian monsters. Also get something called fog counters. Fog counters will allow them to use additional effects by removing those counters, but in this deck itself, we're just going to be going over the cards that he played in the anime. Like Cloudian Eye of the Typhoon, this is his main boss monster in the deck, and I would be surprised if we didn't get him in the box. He has a really unique effect that says when he declares an attack, you get to change the battle position of all face-up monsters except Cloudian monsters. So he's able to effectively get all of the monsters on your opponent's side of the field into a different position that makes them easier to kill. Next on our list is going to be Cloudian Nimbusman. Nimbusman is actually a really unique card that does a lot of useful stuff. I actually think he's better than the one we just went over. I have the Typhoon. So same effect, he can't be destroyed by battle, and his battle position, when his battle position is changed, he's destroyed. You can tribute any number of water monsters for his tribute summon. Then when this card is tribute summoned, you place fall counters on it for each water monster you tributed, and it gains 500 attack for each of those fall counters. So you can tribute 3 cards, and then he'll gain 1500 attack points, making him 2500, which is incredibly powerful. The next on our list is going to be Cloudian Ghost Fog. It can't be special summoned, and all battle damage to either player from battles involving him becomes 0. And if it's destroyed by battle, you get to distribute new fall counters equal to the level of monsters that destroyed it among face-up monsters. So if a level 4 destroyed it, you get to distribute 4 counters. If a level 8 destroyed it, you get to distribute 8. It's really nice. Next on our list is going to be Cloudian Poison Cloud, the one I think is we're least likely to get. Poison Cloud has an ability that when it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, if it was face up and started the damage step, you get to destroy the monster that destroyed it, and if you do, inflict 800 damage. I don't think we need any more burn cards, but what do you guys think? Next on our list is going to be Sheep Cloud. He actually played 2 copies of this in his deck. Sheep Cloud has this ability that when it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you special summon 2 Cloudian tokens in defense position, and these tokens can't be tributed for a tribute summon unless it's for a Cloudian monster. He also plays a card called Summon Cloud. Summon Cloud is really cool, and I think it's one of the cards that Cloudian really needs to be a decent deck in speed duels. It says that once per turn during the main phase, if you don't control any monsters, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Cloudian, and then or from your hand or either player's graveyard. So this is really cool because it's kind of like Valhalla, and they're all fairies. So you can play this or Valhalla, but Summon Cloud allows you to special summon from the graveyard as well. So that's really cool too. The other one is going to be Diamond Dust Cyclone. This card is probably going to come, but it's going to be one of the cards nobody plays if they play Cloudian. You just select a monster with 4 or more fall counters, destroy it, and draw 1 card for each 4 fall counters that were on it. So, yeah. Lucky Cloud says during the end phase, if you summon 2 or more Cloudian monsters with the same name this turn, draw 2 cards. So it's a really nice pot of greed card that works with the deck. And then we have Natural Disaster, which is a really cool trap card that I didn't even know existed or was real. It says inflict 500 damage to your opponent each time a card they control is destroyed and sent to the graveyard by a card effect of a Cloudian monster. So that's kind of unique in its own regard. Rainstorm is another really cool one that says select a Cloudian monster you control, reduce that monster's attack by 1,000 or 2,000 points, and apply one of the appropriate effects. If you make it lose 1,000, you can destroy a spell or trap card your opponent controls. If you make it lose 2, you can destroy 2 cards your opponent controls. So I think that's really cool, and I think it would be a really unique removal trap for the game. Moving on, we're going to be talking about Adrian Gecko's Exodia deck. That's right, this guy played Exodia. Weird. Did not know that either. If you can tell, I did not watch too much of the GX anime past Season 3. Or Season 2. So, if you don't know, he plays all 5 pieces of Exodia in this deck. This includes the right leg, the left leg, the right arm, and the left arm, and then the Exodia of the Forbidden One card. So, do I think they're going to come to speed duels? Absolutely not, but it's worth talking about because there's cards in this deck I think will. Next on our list is going to be Exodius, the Ultimate Forbidden Lord. If this card comes to speed duels, I think it's fine, but it just can't come to speed duels with all 5 pieces. Like, you could literally release all 4 of the normal monsters and then bring him with it, and then I think that's fine. I just don't think having that win condition in this game is going to be healthy for the game. But yeah, he's really neat. He just gets to summon himself for free, and then he gains 1,000 attack for each normal monster in your graveyard. Kind of resets the duel in the process. He's just a really cool card. Next on our list is going to be Fog King, which, if you don't know, just got confirmed as a secret rare in the box. So I wanted to go over him real quick, and this is the biggest reason why we're going over this deck is because Fog King is in the box. So we want to go over all the generic cards that came in this deck, such as himself. So one of the cards that came in this deck is going to be Deep Diver. Deep Diver is a really unique search card in Yu-Gi-Oh! I think it has a place in Speed Duel. So if you don't know what it does, it says at the end of the battle phase, if this card destroy a battle and sent to the graveyard, choose one monster from your deck and place it to the top of your deck. You're effectively making your next draw into a Sangyan or Witch of the Black Forest. So I think Deep Diver definitely has a place when it's destroyed by battle. Vortex Trooper is another card that has room in Speed Duels. I don't think that it would ever see any competitive play personally. I could be wrong, but I think that it could be one of the throwing cards for the box. It just says when it's normal summon, you shuffle 2 cards from your hand to the deck, draw 2 cards, and if this card is destroyed, draw 1 card. So, it's okay. Moving on, we're going to talk about a Feather of the Phoenix. It's just a card that says you can discard a card, target card in your graveyard, and return that card to the top of the deck. So you get to essentially monster reincarnation a card to the top of your deck. Burden of the Mighty is a really unique floodgate. It says each face-up monster you control or your opponent controls loses 100 attack times its own level. It can get very annoying with multiple copies of itself. So if you have like 4 out and the level 4 comes out, they're losing 1,200 attack points. It's kind of what Cloudians need, is a card that shrinks down the opponent's monster's attack. That way that they're not taking damage. But it's also just a generic spell that everybody would probably end up playing in any beatdown deck. Next is going to be Magical Mallet. Magical Mallet is a card I think should have came to Speed Duels and should have been one of the secret rares, but oh well. It just says shuffle any of the cards from your hand to the deck and then draw the same number of cards. Backup Soldier is a really unique trap card that would only come if we got the Exodia pieces, but it's worth talking about the fact that he played it. Backup Soldier allows you to grab 5 of your normal monsters in your graveyard with 1,500 or less attack, shuffle them back into the deck. Or 3. My bad, not 5. And then we got Dimensional Prison, which is essentially the best battle trap in Speed Duels if it would come. But yeah, if I could take a guess at what the deck would look like for the upcoming box for Cloudians, this is essentially what it's going to be. It has a couple cards we didn't talk about in the deck because they're just Cloudians, and then a couple cards I just think would be fitting for the deck itself. So we have the Eye of the Typhoon being the main boss monster. We still have Nimbusman being in here. Then we got Cat Cloud or Curious Stratus. This card is a destruction effect, a non-targeting destruction effect for monster cards by removing 2 fog counters from it. And it came to Duel Links as one of the first Cloudian cards. So I think it does definitely have a place in the format, and we could definitely be seeing it. We then have Acid Cloud, which is the same thing as Cat Cloud, except it's for spell and trap cards. And then we have Altus, which is removing 3 counters instead of the 2, and then you get to rip a card from your opponent's hand. Next on our list is going to be Storm Dragon, which we also didn't go over. He just has a special summon effect by removing from play 1 Cloudian monster from your graveyard, and once per turn you can place a fall counter on 1 monster on the field. So he's kind of cool in that regard. Turbulence is a really neat one. He has this ability that says when you normal summon it, place a fall counter on it for each Cloudian monster on the field. So if you have 2, you're putting 3. Like if you have 2 other than for him, you're putting 3. So you can remove 1 fall counter from it, and then you get to special summon a Cloudian Smoke Ball from the deck or from either player's graveyard. And if you don't know what Smoke Ball is, this is Smoke Ball. He's a cute little guy, but being able to swarm the field, it might be a little strong. I don't know. I really haven't tested it too much, but I'm going to have to at some point. Smoke Ball is my favorite normal monster, by the way, if you guys did not know that. I love this little guy. Next on our list is going to be Ghost Fog, like we talked about earlier, and then Sheep Cloud. Going into the generic cards, it's going to be Fog King, which we know is confirmed in the box, Deep Diver, and Vortex Trooper. Our spell lineup is going to be the Summon Cloud because the deck needs it, and a card called Cloudian Squall. Cloudian Squall is another Duel Links card that people were using to put counters onto their Cat Cloud and their Acid Cloud. What this would do is during the standby phase, you place a fall counter on every face-up monster. This would effectively give both of these monsters an extra counter every single turn. But if you have multiple in the field, they're now getting 2 to 3 every single turn. I actually did test this deck in particular with using these 3 cards and Squall whenever I was first testing the format out, and I think that this in particular is not a bad card to pair with these cards. It just sucks because you're using up your spell and trap card zones, and you're really relying off of their non-destruction abilities. Next on our list is going to be Fog Control. You just tribute a face-up Cloudian monster, place 3 counters on one face-up monster. It's a quick play spell, so it's really nice in that regard. We're also throwing in the Diamond Dust Cyclone, even though I think this card is the worst. And then we're also going to throw in the Sanctuary in the Sky. This card makes it to where if a fairy monster battles, you take 0 damage. I think it would be a nice generic card to bring to speed duels, and I think that all of these cards, except for your big boss monster, are fairy, and I guess this guy's a fiend. So it would just be really nice to just have this on the field with your monster that can't be destroyed by battle, and then you're not taking any damage from battles involving it, so you don't have to play with Boku in the deck. If you don't get this, though, Burden of the Mighty might come. Again, it's just a generic continuous spell. I think it could have a place in Speed Duels as being one of our stronger cards. I mean, Macro's coming to the format. That was my big thought process. I was like, if Macro's coming, then Burden of the Mighty has a place too, so we might be seeing this card as well. And then, of course, our trap card is going to be Rainstorm. I think this card is actually too good not to be throwing into the deck and thinking that we're going to get it. It is the only removal trap for the deck, and I think it just has a place in Speed Duels. What do you all think? What's your favorite card that you think is coming into the Cloudian deck? And if there's a card I didn't mention that you think could come, leave a comment in the comment section down below. But above all else, I want you all have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.